Okay, I'm going to do two videos, disassemble and a reassemble, two separate videos of the Ruger SP101. And for any of you who are considering purchasing this firearm or you already own it, I'm doing this video to show you how I've overcome some of the common problems that people experience when either breaking it down or trying to put it back together. There's one or two little things that I've managed to overcome, and this is going to be a quick video, and I'll go step by step as I go along. As you can see, the firearm is unloaded. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the grip. Now on this gun I have a Crimson Trace laser grip. The only thing you're going to need to do, the tool you're going to need for this job, the entire job, is a screwdriver with about a 3-inch blade, a thin one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the grip screw here, which I'm going to do quickly here. Doesn't take much, just take the screw out. Okay, we'll set this aside. Take the top part of the grip off. Set this aside and remove the bottom part of the grip. Now you might have a different grip on here. Not everybody has a grip like this. Sometimes you have the stock grip that came with it. Okay, as you can see here, this exposes the inside of the grip, and inside the grip here is the mainspring. It's got the hammer strut, the mainspring, and the hammer and the mainspring seat, which is right here. This is easy to remove. It's very simple. Remember, the firearm's unloaded. I want you to watch down here. When I depress the trigger, you're going to notice something. As I pull the trigger back at the very bottom there, you're going to see a little hole that pops out of the bottom of the strut. We're going to put this little finishing nail in there, which then releases the tension on this spring and allows you to pick it up and wiggle it out. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. Don't take that pin out while this is reassembled because it's hard to put the spring back in. Okay, the very next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the hammer assembly. Now on this gun, it's spurless. It doesn't have an actual spur that sticks out of the hammer, but the disassembly is the same for both. On the opposite side, we have a hammer pivot, which has to be wiggled out first. So you take the blade of your screwdriver, you very gently put it underneath there, and you just give it a little twist until that thing rises out. Grab it with your fingers and pull it out. Not much to do. You can see it's just a little tiny piece of metal. We're going to set that aside. Now the next thing we do is you just kind of wiggle this thing out. Now you depress the trigger just a little bit to release the bottom part of the hammer, and you wiggle this thing out. Just like that. Okay? Go careful. On the back part of this inside of metal is machined. It's kind of sharp, and you occasionally would get little scratches on here, so be careful taking that out. Set that aside. The very next thing we're going to do now, this is one of the tricky parts that people encounter, is to remove the trigger guard assembly. I've seen a lot of people struggle with this. There's really no need to. You'll notice inside here there's a little like a pivot, a rivet type little tit thing sticking out. There's also a hole in the back of the grip frame here. What you want to do is you want to grab the firearm in this position, and you want to put this screwdriver in here. Now a lot of people try to push this down first. The trick that I've learned is to push it in. The thing depresses in. So you're going to push this on here, and you're going to basically depress it. Push it in, just like that. When you do that, you'll notice that the firearm opened up. Okay? It opened up. The trigger guard assembly is now ready to be removed. Now you do this carefully. You hold it, and you just basically slide it out. Set it aside. Now this assembly does not need to be broken down any further during cleaning. Okay? When you clean the firearm, you can just take a little rag with some solvent, clean around there before you reassemble it. Okay, so we're going to set this aside. Okay, the next part of the disassembly is to remove the cylinder and the crane. You take the crane latch, which is here, and you depress it, which slides out the cylinder, and then you very gently slide the crane out of the firearm, and the cylinder and the crane are in two separate pieces, just like that. And that's the complete disassembly. Now the tough parts that I talked about were getting out the trigger guard assembly. A lot of people try to push that screwdriver and push it down. Push it in first. Once you push it in first, moving it down and taking it out is done quickly. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. The next video is going to be the reassembly, and we'll show you how easy it is to put it back together. Thanks for watching.